You are now tuned in to SportzAttic.
And we are back. We are back with
We
a
back.
playoff edition of
Yes,
Sports
sir.
Addict. Hey, man, we've been talking about this for a long time. Off season, the draft, preseason, regular season,
Mm-hmm.
and this is the season we've been talking about for a very long time.
Yes,
We
Ryan.
all we always do the caveat in there. I don't care what they do during the regular season. I'm ready for an extended run
Mm-hmm.
in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
It's time. It's time. All the excuses go out the window. It's time to show us, to show what they really made of. Is it going to be a different story this year? Is it going to be the same old story? That's what we're about to find out. That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. And so we finished off the regular season 12-5. That gets us in a wild card game on
Mm-hmm.
the road.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we can jump it off. We can start by talking about that abysmal performance on Sunday
What is there to
against
say?
against the Washington Commanders. You
What is
did
there to
call it.
say?
You didn't say it was gonna be we was gonna be trash, but you did call it in your preseason prediction that we would lose to the Washington Commanders.
In a
to end the
situation, in a situation
Correct.
in which we were going to be playing for seeding. That was my prediction.
Correct.
That was yeah.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna be completely honest and transparent with you.
Okay.
At the end of the third quarter, I turned the television off and went to go
Ooh.
play with my son and his
Ooh.
toys in his room.
Yeah, you might as well spend quality time with your
I
family.
got better things to do. You know,
Yeah.
if y'all don't care, I don't care.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
I had that time blocked off. My family knows the routine. It's
Mhm.
a Cowboys game. I had the errands out the way. Actually, I worked that day,
Mm-hmm.
but she knew when I came home what time it was.
Yeah,
And
leave
I
me
said,
alone.
you know what?
No, come back.
I don't even need this whole block. I
Right.
don't even need this whole block of 2.5, 3 hours. King, what you doing, little man? Let's go play with some blocks or something. Let's go throw them around the room.
Yeah, let me cut my evening short so I can
Yeah.
be with my family.
Yeah.
No.
Because
It was a trash game, right?
trash.
It was a trash game all the way around.
Yeah. Did you
Special
rewatch
teams.
it? Did you rewatch it? I know you typically rewatch games. Did you rewatch that?
I did rewatch it.
Wow.
I did.
Wow.
Actually,
Yeah.
I rewatched it about an hour ago.
Okay. So after the initial, I ask you this because I do feel this way, just across in general in life. After I've had time to sit with things, typically, you calm down your emotions out of it. What was the difference of your takeaway from watching it live versus rewatching it after a couple days?
The only thing, and I noticed this on Sunday as I was watching the game, but it was more noticeable rewatching the game that we really struggled running the ball.
We did.
This wasn't one of those games where, we
Dictated by the pace.
Yeah, we cut away from the run. I mean, we didn't run a ton. I think we ran 20 something times between 19 times between Zeke and Pollard, but they weren't. Neither one of them did well.
Successful, yeah.
Neither one of them did well, and I think that it's good that Biotish is coming back this week.
I was going to ask you that. If you felt like that was a byproduct of Biotish being.
It's more of a byproduct of
the shuffling.
No, the right tackle. I can't think of his name right now.
Tyron.
No, the right tackle. The guy that took Lyle's spot. Yeah, Terrence Steele. There you go. Terrence Steele. Yeah. So I think that the run game literally fell off when he left. Yeah. I think he was doing a really good job at anchoring the run down for us. And then when he went down for the season, I think it just made it more difficult for us to run. With that being said, we still have Tyron Smith coming back from injury, and he should be playing much better than what he's playing. Sure. Especially when you pair him over there with Zach Martin. They should be able to get the job done on the right side. And then, Tyler Smith, he's been up and down all year, but I think he has the tools to actually get it together. But this is the playoffs. This is his first playoffs. He's been frequently penalized in the past, so it'll be interesting to see how well he does this on Monday.
Absolutely, and going against Tampa Bay, they've kind of been soft against the run lately, which is interesting because the last couple of years they've been very difficult to run the ball against. And obviously the run games are going to be pivotal because if our best chance to win is to have some success on the ground and to keep Dak within that 25. If he throws the ball more than 25 times on Monday night, I don't see it going too well. Of course, you still always
Why is that?
You still always got a chance.
Wait, let's stay there. Why is that?
Because I think that means the running game's not doing well. Unless there's just some like Kellen getting away from the run type deal. Mm-hmm. But if he throws it more than 25 times, I think that's a recipe of kind of what you saw, this past week, saying the running game's not going too well and we're throwing the ball all over the place, and that's not a good recipe.
Okay.
That's just my opinion. Right. Unless we're talking about Kellen. For some reason, he does do that sometimes. Or, who knows if it's Dak checking out the run plays. I don't know. But when it's going well and we're having some success on the ground, I ain't talking about the big explosive runs. Of course, that's amazing. But I'm talking about a consistent, staying ahead of the chains and we go away from it. That can't happen. So, but if it's not going well, the run game, and we're throwing the ball 30 plus times, it's not a good recipe.
Yeah, and on the flip side of that, I know we're not talking defense, but the Buccaneers are literally dead last in the league and running the football themselves.
Yep.
And they want to probably have more of a recipe that you just described that we should have.
For sure.
The scary part about this game that we're headed into is that the one game that they did run well this season, it was against us. Now, I think that since then, our defense has come a long way as far as everybody understanding their roles. So hopefully we can stop them there and make Tom Brady one-dimensional. But at the end of the day, if we're able to stop the run theoretically because they're last in rushing, and they're probably, and let's say they stop our run because we haven't ran the ball well the last couple of weeks, that looks like the games are going to come down to a quarterback battle between Dak Prescott and Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Are you confident in that?
No, I never bet against Tom Brady in the playoffs, specifically the playoffs. I mean, it's Tom Brady. I saw a stat. I was in the gym the other day. I saw a stat come across the ticket.
Wait, you went to the gym?
I went to the gym. Hey, dog, new year, new me.
Oh, whoa. Okay.
Yeah, I went in there, got in there today, too.
Okay.
So the other day, I'm watching SportsCenter's on, and it goes across the ticket. Tom Brady has more playoff wins than 28 franchises. That's crazy. That's crazy. So he just has a way of, man, like I don't remember seeing Tom light it up for 400 plus yards in the playoffs. He just has a way of controlling the game. I remember talking about Draymond Green. Draymond Green was talking about, playing against LeBron, and the Warriors up and down, running, ripping and running. He was like, the way he just walked the ball up every single play and controlled the pace of the game was something very difficult to deal with. And I don't know what it is about Tom, man. Like I said, he doesn't light it up. He'll take the dink and dunk, go down the field, and he'll just, throw the pivotal touchdowns, you know what I'm saying, where they feel like daggers. And you feel like it's like a unsurmountable lead. So, no, I don't want to get into a quarterback versus quarterback because I think he's just, it's Tom Brady. He's the best of all time for a reason. Text the ball. He's got some weapons, whether they're on the same page or not. You saw him and Mike Evans get on the same page last week. They got, Chris Godwin's kind of his blanket guy, capable of doing some damage. Still got Julio. And we have me and you out there as our second corner. So that makes me nervous. You know what I mean? That makes me nervous. Tom's kind of lighting up watching the film. Whoever they pair up against, I don't know if it's Trayvon Mullins. I don't know if it's Xavier Rhodes just fresh off the couch.
Wait, let's go back to that. Who is Trayvon Mullins?
From my understanding, I'm pretty sure. I think he might have got drafted by the Raiders, but he went to Clemson.
When did he become a Dallas Cowboy?
I believe this past offseason.
He's been on our team all year?
I don't know. You know what? We'd have to look that up. I don't know if he's been on the team all year, but he got acquired this year by us.
Because it's just crazy. I follow the Cowboys very closely. And I don't recall him becoming a Dallas Cowboy. I was watching the game this week, and I was like, "Who the
What
hell
is that?
is Mullen?"
Yeah, he tried he got caught. He was on live smoking a blunt and caught himself and tried to knock the phone down mid drag.
Dang, man.
Yeah,
Don't do drugs.
don't do drugs.
Stay focused.
So, and that made me think about, obviously that glaring weakness at that other cornerback position. We've put some capital at that position. This last half decade, we put some capital at that position. It's just has not stuck. I mean, we did a Woozier.
We didn't pay him. We didn't pay him.
I know. I think he was like a second, third round pick.
A Woozier was a
I think second.
A first rounder.
Nah, second.
He was second.
But
was he the first person we took in that draft? Did we have a first round pick that year?
No, we did.
Yeah, I think that was the year that we traded for Amari, maybe.
Okay.
And so we didn't have he may have been a second round pick.
Dobe, who was solid, but I guess they felt like, not worth what he's going to be on the open market. Cool. Then you got your what's that guy, that was struggling. God, we just drafted him, number 1. Kelvin Joseph,
Boss Man Fat.
So then we put in a second rounder for Boss Man Fat, Kelvin Joseph. That hasn't worked out, and then backdoor with a third round pick of Nashawn Wright. So right. that's 3 top 100 picks at that position.
But what's wrong with Nashawn Wright? He played well, in my opinion.
Maybe that's our best shot. Maybe
is he injured?
No.
Why was it? And we know Tom Brady is going to come out in 11 personnel, so it's going to force us to play with 3 cornerbacks on the field all game.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a task.
And he's got weapons.
And the strength of our defense is rushing the passer, and Tom Brady is known for getting rid of the ball in I think like 2.3 seconds.
Very quick.
Fastest in the league, so that takes that away. Trayvon Diggs, I believe, is talented enough to take away one of those receivers. I don't even know. Is Mike Evans the guy?
He this year his most reliable guy has definitely been Chris Godwin, but Mike
Evans it's been trending that way since Godwin first got with Tom Brady.
Yeah, but it's
really the last year, Jameis.
But Mike is the guy that has the ability to do what he did last week. Chris Godwin ain't gonna do that to you. 3 touchdowns, damn near 200 yards. Chris Godwin don't do that. He's more the middle, patrolling the middle of the field, first down, third down. He looking for Chris Godwin. You know what I mean? But Mike can take the roof off big time, big plays. Typically, his plays, his big plays turn to touchdowns.
If that's the case, I'd rather Trayvon get on a guy like Godwin and then double team Mike Evans.
I'd rather double team Godwin.
I would dare Tom Brady to beat me going over the top for 3 touchdowns like he did last week. That's what I would do. Because historically, Tom Brady has always worked the middle of the field with either tight ends or slot receivers, and that's what Godwin fits in with Tom Brady. So I feel like if you take that away and you force him to start playing on the outside, now he's done that before. I remember, you think about the years with Randy Moss, So he's done it before, so I'm not saying he can't. When I say dare, I'm not saying dare him as if he can't do it, but I think we're less likely to lose if we make him do that most of the game versus cut us up all game with Godwin.
Well, that's the kind of philosophy of would you rather make him work it down the field against a guy hopefully you can bracket or one big play erase him?
I'd rather you try to lock you up from working it down the field and have to go over the top and beat me with big plays.
Man, I'm just telling you, when the ball is in the air on a deep ball and Trayvon's not the guy guarding him, I don't have a good feeling in my stomach.
Nah, I agree with you, but I just feel like
see that.
But I just feel like if we continuously let them drive on us, and get rid of the ball, tire out our defense because Micah's been getting gassed. So rushing Tom Brady for nothing, it gets frustrating. And that's where penalties come, hitting them late, low, too hard, driving them down. So I personally would rather try to take away Godwin and if Mike Evans has a hat trick on us,
I don't think that would be too crazy man. I'm not trying to have Trayvon Mullen or Deshaun Wright checking Mike Evans. I'm sorry.
okay.
I rather bracket. We'll see. We'll see. Dan Quinn, that's what you get paid the big bucks for. You know what I'm saying? We'll see what you come up with. But it's definitely gonna be some intriguing matchups. But the first and foremost, like forget the Bucks. A little bit because this is about us. You know what I mean? And we really, really need to be able to control the game. We need to be able to run the ball. We need to be efficient on the shots that we do take. One of the things that we saw last week, obviously it was a trash game all around, but there were a couple plays where, like a guy like T.Y. Hilton, like that 3rd and 30 he had, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like basically when you get the opportunity to make that play, it is pivotal that you make it. You know what I'm saying? So there were a couple balls last week that, in that terrible game that were catchable and they were just flat out drops. Big plays, down the field.
Oh, you talking about the T.Y. Hilton deep ball down the left side of the field where he kind of turned around and jump back and catch it, like squared up with the ball?
In the playoffs, you need to come down with that.
In the playoffs, you want them to come down with that. That's not a routine catch. I don't deem that to be routine.
I think it's routine.
I think if he makes that catch, we say, great catch. I think that's the reaction. I
think he said good catch.
No, I think
he was impeded. I don't think he was impeded. It's not like the guy was grabbing his arms. He had both hands on the ball, jumped up in the air, both hands on the ball. NFL receiver, I think you should catch that ball. Like not nothing crazy.
I think that it is. He was jumping backwards. He squared up and he was jumping backwards.
Like you said,
the ball is coming at a certain velocity, and then you're running fast as you can in one direction. You contorting your body at the same time. Of course, when you say if it hits your hands, you should catch it.
That's what you just described sounds like an NFL receiver.
Right.
Running fast, jumping up, squaring up to the ball.
Contorting your body in the air.
Contorting your body and catching the ball. That sounds like an NFL receiver.
But it's not easy because everybody's not an NFL receiver. So
exactly. But we're talking about an NFL receiver.
Yeah.
Not talking about me and you.
Yeah, I understand that. But I'm just saying, I don't feel like that was – I personally don't think that was an easy catch. But
I didn't say easy. It was a catch an NFL receiver should make.
Okay.
That's what I think. I ain't talking about the whole one sticking your paw out, one hand behind you, nothing like that. But you squared up with the ball, jumped in the air, both hands on the ball, and you mistimed it, jump, through your hands. Like those are plays in the playoffs that you got to come down with.
Right. I agree with that.
If we want to win the game, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So basically, what I'm trying to say is, hey, Ty, you're not gonna get. I can't say the same for Noah. You're going to get peppered. It looks like peppered with targets. But what I'm saying is if you're not going to get the ball a ton, when it comes time to make that play, you got to be ready to make it. Is all I'm saying.
Oh, as an NFL receiver, when you get an opportunity, you got to be ready to take advantage of it.
Correct.
I understand.
Yeah. You don't agree?
I agree.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's what That's what we need you to do is to play off.
You got to take advantage of your opportunities.
You do.
Especially when you get a lot of opportunities. Because
you don't get a lot of opportunities.
When you don't, but especially
when you don't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you get that opportunity, you got to come down with it. It's the playoffs. Ain't nothing going to be easy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Everything going to be contested. You know what I'm saying? It's the playoffs. It is what it is. So if it's your hands, you got to come down with that. So we need to be able to control the ball. Control the game, running the ball, have some success, stay ahead of the chains. The thing about Dak, man, I don't expect perfection every game or nothing like that. I really don't. What I don't like, or what I hate to see, and it's really somebody brought up a good point when I think I was just listening to like Brian Broaddus and them boys, and he said it's kind of been the case. This has been the case ever since John Kitna left as his quarterback coach. Is that he's really inconsistent with like his accuracy, like very much so. So one game he willing and dealing, the ball's on the money, he's still consistent with the turnovers. It seems like you got to get that out of the system. It seemed like, but it's either that like it's on the money, and then the next game things 2 yards behind the receiver. Forget the decision making, the throwing in the double coverage, and you just like what were you looking at? I'm just talking about the accuracy. And that's scary. You know what I'm saying? Because you go into the game being like, when I say what Dak we gonna get, of course that would be amazing if he didn't turn the ball over. But I'm talking about accuracy wise. You know what I mean? We've seen certain plays where it's like, dog, you got to make that play. You got to put the ball in a better position than that
As an NFL quarterback.
As an NFL quarterback, absolutely. And so I mean, hey man, I'm a Cowboys fan. We here against Tampa Bay in the playoffs. Obviously, I hope we see the accurate Dak. Now,
is there an accurate Dak?
Yes, but it's not consistent. But yeah,
I don't know. So my opinion on that is that Dak has never been accurate. And what the hell is John Kitna? Excuse my language, but what does John Kitna do? Is he like some whisperer or something to where he can help you in the game while you're playing the game be accurate?
No, fundamentals.
Okay, so what fundamentals did he teach that Dak is not doing anymore?
They say his feet.
I don't know. I've always seen Dak skip balls to receivers and throw the ball 2-3 yards over a receiver, or like the last weekend, the out route he threw to Noah Brown in a cover 2, inside shoulder for a pick. You know, I think that's just more of Dak is limited, and I've said that in the preseason. I said that that's why us getting the outside receiver was so important, is because we can put CeeDee Lamb inside, and CeeDee Lamb can take advantage of receivers on the inside. I mean, of cornerbacks on the inside, give Dak somebody to throw to, because that's where he's most comfortable throwing to. That's why he targets Schultz so much. Throwing to the outside, in my opinion, he struggles.
That was a complete failure this offseason with that outside receiver position, especially when we already had one.
And people say like, oh, well, you don't want to pay Amari Cooper $20 million. Why? It's not your money. You got the Cowboys had the cap space. Yes, yeah. And even if he wasn't a number one, what he was if people wanted to target CeeDee Lamb more.
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb benefits from having Amari Cooper on the outside, because Amari Cooper is a true number one and he knows how to get open.
Yep.
So he can get open on the outside, but then CeeDee Lamb can do his thing and take advantage of the middle of the field with that.
All these targets that Noah Brown are getting.
Why does Dak do that, man?
I don't know.
Why does he always do that? Like is that a Kellen Moore thing? Like, I
don't know.
I don't think that this is something that Kellen Moore, like he always throws to the third,
fourth receiver with the game on the line too. He'll do it.
What's the dude from last year? The fast receiver that we lost to Miami.
Cedric Wilson.
He don't even play for them.
Yeah.
He don't even get on the field.
Yeah.
He a punt returner.
Yeah.
And Dak used to target him like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
I don't know why he does that.
He throws to Noah Brown like crazy. Last year he threw the ball to Schultz like crazy.
Like crazy. So I'm not sure. But we obviously got a big task on our hands. So, with that being said, headed into Monday night.
Right.
On the road against the Bucs.
Yep.
What is your gut feeling about the result?
That's difficult because I'm a gambler.
Mm-hmm. -3, right? Vegas got us -3 at the moment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm a gambler, trusting what Vegas say. Vegas says that on their field, the Cowboys are a better team.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Cowboy fan, and I'm very optimistic when it comes to the team of the Dallas Cowboys.
Sure.
So I'm conflicted because obviously my heart is telling me Cowboys, but my head is telling me Bucks. And that's because, as I alluded to earlier, I feel like hopefully we can get the running game going. But if the running game shows up and looks like it did last week, and the Bucks come out and they become their typical Bucks that they have been all season, both teams will struggle running the ball. And I believe if it come down to Dak Prescott outplaying Tom Brady, it's very difficult to choose Dak Prescott over Tom Brady. Like you said, Tom Brady probably has lost more playoff games than Dak has ever even played in. So Tom Brady knows what he's doing. He knows how to, manipulate the defense, control the game, manipulate defenses to get exactly what he wants. And the real thing that you really get scared of, because a lot of time fans throw out stats, number one offense, all these things, rushing yards, whatever. But the most important thing to me is a quarterback, because even if a quarterback is having a bad game, if you have one of those guys that have the ability to, your defense can keep, whether it's a high scoring game where the defense giving up 31 points, or a low scoring game where the defense is only giving up 16 points. If it's a one possession game and we're down, or it's tied up and we need to go score to win, if you have one of those guys at the quarterback position, that's like
gold.
That's
Tom Brady all day. That game you just described, that scenario, I watched him do that against the Green Bay Packers. Was this was last year or the year before? He threw 3 interceptions, somewhat kind of early. And the defense, I think that might have been the year they won the Super Bowl. I can't remember. The defense kept him in it, and I remember watching man, he always got a stacked defense to, keep him in the game when he playing like trash. But it is what it is. You know what I mean? It can't be luck how much he wins, obviously. You know what I'm saying? This is exactly what happened. Defense kept him in the game after 3 turnovers. And when the game got tight, he did what he needed to do for his team to win.
Yeah, and that's what you want. That's what makes you, in my opinion, one of the top tier quarterbacks. If we were playing, a lot of teams, a lot of Cowboy fans didn't want Aaron Rodgers to get in the playoffs because they felt because they know, if the team can keep the game close and it comes down to a possession in the fourth quarter, late in the fourth quarter, where he needs to make that team needs a drive to either win or tie the game. It's almost people assume he's going to do it. Same with Tom Brady. Same with Mahomes.
Yeah.
It's becoming the same thing with Burrow.
Burrow cold.
Burrow is cold.
Burrow's cold.
But when Dak doesn't make me exude that same confidence, because when it comes to Dak, we always pay attention to every other factor instead of how his performance is. So his performance last week was poor, and I believe his performance the last few weeks, I'm not going to say the last few weeks, but I don't really think he's having a great season. I think that he's had 3 or 4, not even 3 or 4 good games. Because the Philly game, I believe, the Philly and the Vikings game, I think those are his best, to me, played games.
Sure.
Those 2 games.
To everybody.
Okay, yeah. And in his 2 worst games, obviously, Washington and Tampa Bay. And those were really bad. And his good games weren't really that great. Right? So it's almost like he's somewhere in between there. And just hopefully he's a little bit above. Hopefully he's just exactly where we need him to be. Because I just want to win. I don't care.
I don't care. I just like to see him, accurate. And, man, it's go time. So, you ain't got to be, spectacular, man. Give me a 3rd and 4. And you run for it, a pivotal first down. Those are game-winning plays. Let's see some of that. You know what I'm saying? It's just laying it all on the line. You know what I'm saying? Not to throw it. If you can go for it, man, put it out there. You know what I mean?
Right.
And those are the type of plays that I like to see from that gutsy winning. You ain't got to be you're not Pat Mahomes. You don't have the arm talent, like those guys. But you got something. What's different? What makes Dak Dak? You know what I'm saying? And let's see that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but he gets away from what makes Dak Dak.
That's what I'm talking about.
When I remember first hearing of Dak Prescott back when he was clowning in college at Mississippi State, he was playing with a bunch of players that were undermanned compared to the players he was playing with in the SEC. And when we drafted him, I was excited about Dak. And when Dak became a starter, I was rooting for him to become the starter over Romo because I felt like Dak had a connection to the team that Romo just didn't have at the time. And I've said for years, I think that, Dak, his best trait is that he's a winner. right? Like it's just something about Dak. Like when he was in college, if you have to run, you run.
You're right.
And I think that at some point, maybe if I look back on his career, it's like the 2019 season, he was in a situation where he needed to put some numbers up so he can get a contract. Mm-hmm. So he became less of a runner, more of a passer.
Yeah.
And he ended up throwing for just under 5,000 yards that year. He came back in 2020, and our defense was atrocious. So we were losing, but he was getting a lot of statistics.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we were just trying to throw to keep us in the game. Then he got injured. He came back 2021, and our offense was the number one scoring team. Mm-hmm. So I think at some point, and now you look this year, he's leading the league in interceptions, and in all his interviews, he's saying, "Well, I want to continue being aggressive."
Yeah.
But that's not the Dak that we knew or the Dak that he was. And a lot of people are saying, "Well, hey, that's uncharacteristic for Dak Prescott." But we don't know what's uncharacteristic for the Dak Prescott that we're seeing with this mentality of being aggressive. Before he was more conservative, want to protect the ball. So I do agree with critics. They say, this is not his norm, but this is not his norm when he is not a 5,000-yard passer per se.
Sure. And he doesn't have the weapons to be a 5,000-yard passer this year. That's why he needs to. That's why I would think you would need to tone it down because y'all didn't even give him the weapons to be aggressive, to be throwing it all over the place. Where you could throw for 5,000 yards and 30-something touchdowns, but
let's not get it twisted. We do have some weapons. I mean, we still have CeeDee Lamb. We still have Michael Gallup, who's been on our team as number 2 receiver. At least the number 2, number 3 receiver since he's been here. So he's been in the system. So we still return those guys. You still have Schultz, a guy who was a Pro Bowl tight end last year, if I'm not mistaken. You still have Zach Martin. You still have Zeke Elliott. You still have Tony Pollard. You still have Tyron Smith. You still have Tyler Smith. You still have the same offensive coordinator that you've been having. Like, you still
when I think
the
of
league
weapons,
scoring.
For quarterback, when I think of weapons, of course, when you look at a team in totality, you do include the backs. But I'm just talking about the passing game.
Yeah, I understand.
And I like Mike.
How many teams have how many? Okay, so how many good receivers are you supposed to have? Because other than like
2,
it's other. Okay, but other than like the Philly receivers and the Miami receivers, who else have 2 good receivers like that?
The Vikings.
Who? Thielen?
Yeah, Thielen's good.
I mean, he has been good in the past. I don't think he's not good. I just haven't followed him enough this year to see. It feels like it's the Justin Jefferson show.
I think San Francisco got 2 good receivers. I like Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, but they don't really like. What's their stat? I gotta look their numbers up. I know that Brandon Ayuk is nice.
Yeah,
they are nice.
Gabe ain't had a great year, but he's a better weapon than I would say Michael Gallup. Gabe Davis.
Yeah, I know who you were talking about. I know who you were talking about when you said
Gabe. Keep going. The Bengals got a fool.
The Bengals have a fool.
Yeah, so like these top teams got weapons at the receiver position. Across the board. Who else? I know we're missing somebody.
Do you think? We already said Tua and those guys. I don't know, Ryan.
Who else in the AFC that's out there? I think when you see a guy like you talking about Pat, like that's the example, right? You talking about one of the best quarterbacks we've seen.
Now my example was like Pat, you got Pat. You also had like Josh Allen, who had like really one receiver. And Gabe Davis is more of he might have a game where I get what you're saying. If you're saying he's better than him, that's just that's the debatable. But
Chargers, like bro, people, most that's a lot of teams in the playoffs we just named. They got 2 good receivers. Michael Gallup. He's definitely, especially when we get in the red zone, like running the baseline. I call it the baseline. I'm a hooper, but running the back line and like he seems to make those plays a lot. But just between the 20s, if it ain't a go route, I just don't feel like bro gets separation. And I don't know if that's just the injury. It's just like everything contested with him, and he'll make a tough slant catch. You know what I'm saying? But it's really no separation when Michael Gallup runs his routes.
The crazy thing is, I don't know if that the separation is on the receivers or if it's on the play caller.
I don't know either. That's
right. That's the hard thing.
Yeah, I don't know because of course,
Because you'll watch
they scheme it
Michael get
open.
them leave and then just be like, dang, he's wide open for another
Yeah,
team.
yeah. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't think we scheming it up like I see other teams. But I do see other teams have better weapons in the receiving core all around. We're one of the lower teams in the playoffs. I feel like with the receiving weapons. When you look across the board of the 16 teams in the playoffs, I think we at the definitely like one of the.
That was at our own
It
doing.
was.
So
It was. We was just name a team. Tampa Bay got two good receivers.
yeah,
Like everybody almost do except us. Low
yeah,
key, for real. So
yeah. So it's gonna be a tough game. So like I said, heart says Cowboys, head says Bucks.
I think I'm in the same boat, bro. I don't want to be pessimistic going into this game, watching the game, but I'm sorry. Honestly, it's just the realism in me. You know what I'm saying? Like the Cowboys have shown me who they are for a long time, so I kind of on some like until you show me different, then I'll believe it. And I hope that's not the case. I hope they do all the things we said they need to do to win. Like I'm wholeheartedly hoping we win. Hope we're able to control the ball and take care of the ball and do what we need to do to win. Whatever, I don't care if it's ugly, whatever. I don't care. But it just feel like the kind of the same story. Um, we'll see. My heart says Cowboys. My mind says I don't know, bro. I would be leaning towards the Bucks, and I mean, and it does matter. There's Tom Brady over there. It's like, yo, he just turned into a different. When he in these situations, things seem to go his way. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
because he's the goat.
Yeah, he's the GOAT. So,
He's the
so
goat.
we'll see Monday night. Obviously, we'll be locked in. Holiday. You know what I'm saying? You got all day to prep. You know what I'm saying? I might put some on the grill. Shout out to Martin Luther King Jr.
Yeah, MK.
You know,
Throw that in MK.
you throw that as MLK. So I just thought about that. Got all day to kind of kick it and get ready for the game. Throw something on the grill, and we gonna tune in, man. And we gonna be back, obviously with a reaction. Uh, win or lose, this will not be our last video.
Yeah,
Maybe we'll take a break.
come back for the
And
draft.
come back for the draft prep. But hopefully we're gonna put that manifestation out there that we back for another preview for the next week to get to
Sure.
the NFC Championship.
Yes, sir.
Let's
Hey,
get
quick
to it.
question.
Sure.
Quick question. Should we fire Mike McCarthy if we lose this game?
Yes.
Okay.
Depends
All right.
who you can get though. I don't want to fire him just for the sake of firing him, but like it need to be like
Nah, we should fire him. Just fire him. Get rid of him.
I mean, it depends who it is though. Like it really does. Like because
Nah, just fire him, bro. Who needs a coach? Who needs a coach that won back-to-back 12-win season?
No, I'm saying if
Who needs a
is
coach?
Sean Payton still under contract with the Saints because they talking about you need a first rounder or something.
People talk about Sean Payton like he the Tom Brady of
Hey,
coaching.
I get it. But
He the Bill Belichick of
at
coach.
the
Maybe
end
call
of
it the Peyton Bowl.
I
What?
got you. At the end of the day, I like Mike. I do. I just think that's just the nature of the beast. Like
Yeah.
Jerry gonna need somebody to take the chopping block for him. Facts. It ain't finna be him. He ain't finna say it's my fault that the culture around here is my fault. He gotta go. I ain't saying back-to-back 12-winning seasons. 12-win seasons. I hear you. I got you. I don't think that's obviously not fireable. But Jerry is not finna take the blame. So who gonna take it? Mike McCarthy. What is that?
Number 4.
What's it for? Oh,
That.
he ain't finna cut that.
Yeah, don't need to cut that.
Or cut him or maybe a draft one early. That'd be
Yeah,
cool.
go draft somebody.
Go draft somebody in. I ain't tripping.
How
Competition.
you get them? How you lose them?
Yeah. Oh, Lovey, boy, that was crazy. I feel him. Like y'all finna fire me anyways. Fuck y'all number one pick.
Went at a one.
Went down to one. Went for two. Went for two on them boys. Fuck
See
y'all
y'all.
number one pick. Yeah. I'll let you.
Yeah.
The Bears, they finna get some draft capital for that number one pick if they decide to stay with Justin.
I don't
You
think
know what
they
I'm saying?
should.
I don't either.
Is Caleb Williams in this draft or is it next year?
Next year.
Oh wait, so it's Bryce Young,
and
that boy, CJ Stroud.
CJ Stroud, and a lot of people like that dude from Kentucky. I don't know about him.
I don't know who he is. I gotta go look at some.
You
know what? I don't know who he is because
Will Levi.
I don't know who he is because I haven't had to do any draft studying yet, and I hope that this time next week I still haven't started that. So
That's the plan. So let's get it going, Cowboys. Hopefully we go up to Tampa Bay, handle business. We right back at it next week.
Hold it down for Mike, man. Mike McCarthy, man. We need you. I don't want to fire you, bro. I want you on the team.
Come on, we need it. His head is on the chopping block unless we get to the NFC Championship.
Yeah, turn around and take the knife.
And that's messed up because it's like, bro, you ain't even give me another good receiver. You just botched, for no reason. But
yeah,
whatever. For no reason. But we'll see. Appreciate the love. We right back at y'all. I forgot my that was sort of yeah,
something like that.